A few days ago, the Karnataka government banned the use of loudspeakers between 10 pm and 6 am. As per media reports, nearly 1.29 lakh loudspeakers were pulled down or their decibel levels were reduced across Uttar Pradesh in the last month. These moves come amidst a raging debate across the country over the use of loudspeakers. The governments enforcing the ban say they are going by the rule book. But there's more to this than meets the eye. The ban has split public opinion.
In fact, I have personally been tremendously inconvenienced by a mosque, which is doing the azan 6 times in Sector 15, Noida, which is more than a kilometer away from where I live in. And you can imagine the volume that were coming is from more than a kilometer away and waking you up before 6 o'clock. And almost on the same lines, you can see that, okay, but this is a round the year problem 6 times a day.
तो फंडामेंटल राइट में कोर्ट ने कहा कि अजान करना फंडामेंटल राइट है और लाउड स्पीकर रन करना फंडामेंटल राइट नहीं है। हाल ही में जो रिसेंट पिटीशन आई थी, मेरे द्वारा फाइल की गई थी, तो इसमें ये तो होल्ड किया गया है हाई कोर्ट की डिवीजन बेंच द्वारा कि अजान करना मूल अधिकार है, लेकिन लाउड स्पीकर बजाना मूल अधिकार नहीं है।
The row over the use of loudspeakers has been escalating in different parts of the country. The Supreme Court had issued a series of guidelines on using loudspeakers way back in 2005, which included restrictions on the use of loudspeakers in public places at night to bring down the decibel levels. The question is, why did various state governments not implement the Apex Court's guidelines for so many years? And why is this now being turned into a contentious religious issue?
Well, I mean, we're already well beyond much more than a decade, almost 2 decades since that Supreme Court ruling. There have been other High Court orders which have again reiterated that Supreme Court order in Bombay, in Karnataka. These High Courts have again said that these orders need to be strictly implemented for everybody.
It is very important that noise level must be controlled. Unfortunately, the rules in this regard are termed regulation and control of noise. When you say regulation and control, you are all the time on control. The first 2 strategies of prevention and abatement get overlooked. This is a shortcoming in our approach to manage noise levels in our society.
MNS Chief Raj Thackeray had sparked off a huge controversy in Maharashtra when he called for silencing loudspeakers at the mosques. He asked people to play Hanuman Chalisa outside mosques from May 4th if loudspeakers were not removed from the mosques. The loudspeaker issue soon turned into a Hindu versus Muslim and a masjid versus temple issue in Maharashtra, with other states also witnessing the ripple effects.
अब सिर्फ ये जो है बहाना लाउड स्पीकर का बहाना बना करके हिंदू मुस्लिम तनाव पैदा करना है, जबकि यहाँ के हिंदू और यहाँ के मुसलमान अमन पसंद हैं और एक साथ में रहते आए हैं और हमारा भाईचारा और एक ही कल्चर है और उसके साथ में रहना हम लोगों की सरिश्त में, हम लोगों की तबीयत में है। और ये जो इन लोगों का काम है कि हिंदू मुसलमानों के दरमियान दीवार खड़ी की जाए, ये इन लोगों का मकसद है, मगर इंशाल्लाह ये अपने मकसद में कामयाब नहीं होंगे।
तो वैसे भी देखिए, मस्जिद और अजान इज नॉट इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ इस्लाम, बट स्टिल दे आर फोर्सिंग अस टू लिसन टू इट। और अजान के अंदर क्या बोलते हैं? अजान के अंदर कहते हैं कि भाई अल्लाह सबसे बड़ा है और उसी की इबादत करनी चाहिए, इसके अलावा किसी की इबादत करने को कोई भी दुनिया में इबादत करने योग्य नहीं है। दिन में 5 बार चीख के चिल्ला के संपूर्ण हिंदू समाज को ये बताते हैं वो लोग। इसका मतलब क्या है कि धर्मांतरण के लिए उकसा रहे हैं वो लोग। जो शांतिपूर्ण समाज है उसको भी अशांत करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं वो लोग।
ये सब राजनीतिक कारण हैं। ये इसलिए हो रहा है कि राजनीतिक लाभ लेने के लिए, क्योंकि जब इस तरह की बातें होंगी तो एक वर्ग के जो सपोर्टेड राजनीतिक दल हैं और वो दूसरे लोग हैं उनका जो सपोर्टेड राजनीतिक दल है उनको इस चीज से फायदा होता है। जब आम मुद्दों से बात हट जाती है इन सब मुद्दों को उठाने की वजह से।
For many concerned citizens, the use of loudspeakers at odd hours in public places is just a matter of public nuisance. And this issue should not be seen through a religious prism. Environmentalists and law experts say the Apex Code's guidelines must be enforced uniformly across the country and not at the whims and fancies of political parties that want to polarize people through this issue.
There's no point in Supreme Court issuing a direction if it is not complied with. It's a 2005 order. Until 2022, they're just sitting there. Then it happens to become a public a fight between two political parties, and then everybody wakes up. Then when the media starts asking for why are you not implementing, the Supreme Court order says that it cannot be done. The Supreme Court order says that you will need to have a permission from the district administration. And then again, between 10 to 6, you cannot use it unless and until it is for a temporary purpose. And then again, there are limits on the noise that you make.
अलग अलग तरीके से अलग अलग स्टेट में फॉलो किया जा रहा है। तो गवर्नमेंट द्वारा जैसे उत्तर प्रदेश में ये बैन किया गया, अभी किया गया, लेकिन उससे ये दिशा निर्देश तो बहुत पहले के थे, तो पहले करना चाहिए, पहले क्यों नहीं किया गया? और तमाम अदर स्टेट में नहीं हुआ है, तो एक यूनिफॉर्म तरीके से होना चाहिए। अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ये डायरेक्शन है तो उसको जो फॉलो हो वो हर स्टेट में कॉमन तरीके से हो। किसी खास स्टेट में कहीं ये इसको बैन किया जा रहा है, कहीं नहीं किया गया है, तो जो इससे प्रॉब्लम है वो तो हर जगह होना चाहिए, और अगर प्रॉब्लम नहीं है तो कहीं भी नहीं होना चाहिए।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट सुप्रीम है इस भारत के लिए, और एवरीबॉडी हैज टू रेस्पेक्ट द वर्डिक्ट ऑफ द सुप्रीम कोर्ट। इसमें किसी को कहने सुनने बताने की आवश्यकता नहीं है, सबको उसका रेस्पेक्ट करना चाहिए और सरकारों को सबके ऊपर समान रूप से लागू करना चाहिए।
While there is a call from certain quarters regarding a national law or framework on the do's and don'ts regarding loudspeaker use, the Supreme Court is loud and clear on loudspeakers. The Apex Court had in 2005 stated that it was not concerned with any religion or religious practices, and it was only concerned with the fundamental right of the citizens to protect themselves against noise pollution and from becoming a forced audience to noise.
Accountability will come when there is then there is a punishment attached with not doing something. Unfortunately, I have been scouring all the law. Unfortunately, there is no law for dereliction of duty. There is no law which punishes the omission of, duty. An act of omission. An act of commission like corruption can be punished. But an act of omission, there is no law in this country.
According to the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act of 1981, noise is defined as an air pollutant. According to the Act, air pollutant is defined as any solid, liquid or gaseous substance, including noise, present in the atmosphere in such concentration as may be or tend to be injurious to human beings or other living creatures or plants or property or environment. Therefore, in simple terms, air pollution means the presence in the atmosphere of any of these air pollutants.
Public awareness largely depends on perception. They are neither aware of science or long-term effects of some things which are harmful. Only when their bad effect on their health becomes manifest, then they try to see that the problem is rectified.
And let me tell you, this noise pollution is not just for the human beings. It is for any life on the earth. The birds, the animals and everything. The birds also need their sleep. The animals need their sleep.
The noise rule is very clear, and every single person that I have ever heard speak has said that the noise rules are to be followed. That's what the Supreme Court order says. That's what the High Court order say, and I'm glad that it is being taken that way, interpreted that way. As an activist who has worked on this issue for since before the Supreme Court order and also has informed some of the High Court decisions to implement the order, I can only say that it will be my job and the job of other activists who work with me and citizens to ensure that the order is followed in the way it is meant to be followed.
As someone had famously quoted, noise pollution is a relative thing. In a city, it's a jet plane taking off. In the monastery, it's a pen that scratches. But to environmentalists, noise pollution is more serious than that. It is one of the most insidious forms of pollution. It can affect our hearing capacity, sleep, and mental well-being. For some others, it affects them at a deeper level. And say, everyone needs peace at some point of the day, and there can never be peace without quiet.
I tell you, the simple solution is, let Supreme Court tomorrow issue a contempt notice why action should not be taken for not implementing our directions of 2005, and ask these chief secretaries of all the states and union territories to be present personally in the next hearing. I guarantee this will get implemented.
हमने पहले भी कहा कि लाउड स्पीकर इस्लाम का हिस्सा नहीं है. जब इस्लाम का हिस्सा नहीं है तो उसको इस्तेमाल करें या ना करें, नमाज तो हो जाएगी. दान को लेकर के लाउड स्पीकर को मुद्दा बनाकर शोर क्यों मचाया जा रहा है? हमारा कहना ही है. और अगर वाकई पब्लिक के हित में है तो फॉरेन कंट्री की पॉलिसी लागू कर देना चाहिए हमारे हिंदुस्तान में. और हुकूमत को चाहिए कि वो बिल्कुल तमाम मस्जिद, मंदिर, गुरुद्वारा, चर्च, तमाम जगहों से लाउड स्पीकर हटा दिए जाएं, बिल्कुल हटा दिए जाएं. बल्कि आवाज कम करने की नहीं, बिल्कुल कतई कोई लाउड स्पीकर नहीं लगेगा.
The Central Pollution Control Board has established the acceptable noise levels in India for various areas, including permissible levels for both day and night in different zones. The Noise Pollution Regulation and Control Rules of 2000 regulate and control noise producing and generating sources to maintain the ambient air quality standards in respect of noise. Experts say there is an immediate need to revisit these rules and emphasize the implementation aspect of these guidelines.
I think today the onus is on the chief ministers, who are actually the public servants. It is the onus is on the chief secretaries of the states. And then on top of it, it is for the Supreme Court to save its own honor, I would say. We call them your honor. Like it is for them to save their honor by making sure that this order is implemented in toto, I repeat.
Air Act, when it was amended, I think in 88 or so, then noise was included in it by changing the definition of pollutant. Air pollutant is a substance, and then it says within bracket, including noise. So from 88 to 2000, there was the law included it, but there was no rule to implement it. The rule came up only in 2000, and that too in a very limited manner. So I think this needs to be looked into from the point of view of how the rule should be revised, and secondly, which agencies are to look after what part of the implementation of those rules. At the moment, that is not so well defined as it needs to be.
The discourse on noise pollution should not be around Azan or Hanuman Chalisa, or for that matter, Mandir or Masjid. The right to live in an atmosphere free from noise pollution has in the past been upheld as a right guaranteed by Article 21 of the Constitution. Article 21 guarantees the fundamental right to life and the right to environment, and freedom from the danger of disease and infection is inherent in it.
What is relevant is that noise is being recognized as the major health hazard it is. It's taken a long time, the courts have played a role, the media has played a role, but most importantly, It's citizens who have stood up and spoken up against noise who are being heard today, and to that extent I'm very happy.
हिंदुस्तान में रहने वाले हिंदू, मुसलमान, सिख, ईसाई जितने भी लोग रहते हैं ये सब अमन पसंद है। 99% दोनों तबकों की जो आबादी है वो अमन और शांति चाहती है। कुछ ताकतें ऐसी हैं वो नहीं चाहती हैं कि देश हमारा आगे बढ़े, वो ये चाहती हैं कि देश पीछे चला जाए और उसको पीछे ढकेल दिया जाए। बस मेरे यही तमाम लोगों से गुजारिश है कि सब लोग प्यार मोहब्बत भाईचारगी के साथ में रहें, तभी हमारा मुल्क आगे बढ़ेगा और हम तरक्की कर पाएंगे।